चलो चलो कारगिल चलो, चलो चलो कारगिल चलो, चलो चलो कारगिल चलो,
The slogan
चलो
echoed through
चलो
the scenic,
कारगिल चलो,
breathtaking mountains, not from India, but from Gilgit Baltistan, a region that remains captured by Pakistan, a region where some protesters are now openly demanding freedom from Pakistan and merger with India. Yet, if you were keeping up with social media recently, you may have seen something entirely different. Post claiming India was preparing to capture Gilgit Baltistan. Deepfake videos falsely showing India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar supporting violent protests. Claims designed to create fear, claims designed to distort reality, and claims that have forced India to step in. Because behind the noise lies a story that the world rarely hears. The story of forgotten people, the story of one of the last colonies on earth. This is Gilgit Baltistan. And India won't let the world forget about it. Let's begin.
इनको मैं कहना चाहता हूँ सारे पुत्र नंगे पुत्रों हमारे दर्जनों नौजवानों को शहीद कर दिया इससे बड़ा जुल्म और क्या होगा
Recently, Gilgit Baltistan witnessed fresh protests. Residents took to streets demanding constitutional rights, political representation, economic justice, and greater autonomy. Many of these demonstrations were peaceful. But as attention grew, misinformation exploded online. India's Ministry of External Affairs not only lodged a formal protest against Pakistan's June elections in Gilgit Baltistan, but also had to publicly reject fake videos and fabricated social media posts. These deepfakes were not random. They appeared designed to undermine genuine civil rights movements emerging from within the region. But why is Gilgit Baltistan so important? To understand that, we need to go back, way back. Decades ago, the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir acceded to India. But before stability could be established, Pakistan-backed tribal and Pashtun guerrilla fighters infiltrated the region. Conflict erupted. The United Nations intervened. A UN resolution called upon Pakistan to withdraw its forces and allow conditions for a plebiscite. That withdrawal never happened. Instead, Pakistan tightened its control. Then came a critical turning point. This is when, through the controversial Karachi Agreement, Pakistan effectively separated Gilgit Baltistan from the rest of Pakistan occupied Kashmir for administrative purposes. And here's the remarkable part. There was reportedly no representative from Gilgit Baltistan involved in the arrangement. The people whose future was being decided had little say in the decision. For decades thereafter, the region remained politically invisible. No meaningful constitutional status, no real self-governance, no substantial political voice. While Pakistan spoke globally about self-determination in Kashmir, critics argue that the people of Gilgit-Baltistan themselves were rarely allowed to determine their own future. In fact, elected representation came shockingly late, more than 6 decades after partition, more than 60 years after the first UN resolution. For many residents, the feeling of political exclusion never disappeared. And that sentiment continues today. Now, pause for a minute and think about that. The irony is difficult to ignore. Pakistan frequently accuses India of suppressing Kashmir. Yet, many activists and analysts argue that Gilgit-Baltistan itself has been treated like a colony, a strategically valuable territory, rich in resources, rich in geography, but poor in political power. The region borders China, Afghanistan, and India. Its mountains host critical trade routes. Its rivers hold immense hydropower potential. Its land forms a crucial component of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. But locals have repeatedly alleged that while outsiders profit, ordinary residents remain marginalized. And the grievances don't stop there. Three major problems continue to haunt the region. First, sectarian violence. For years, tension between Shia, Sunni, and other Islamic sects have periodically erupted. Critics accuse successive governments of allowing divisions to deepen rather than heal. Second, poverty. Despite enormous strategic and economic importance, many communities continue to face inadequate infrastructure, unemployment, and underdevelopment. Third, demographic change. Many local groups fear that demographic shifts could dilute indigenous identities and political influence. Together, these concerns have fueled a growing sense of alienation. And for many in the region, this is where the story becomes even more complicated. A vast stretch of land was handed over by Pakistan to China, turning Gilgit-Baltistan into a critical piece on the geopolitical chessboard. India never accepted that deal, and more than half a century later, it still doesn't. For New Delhi, the issue is straightforward. Gilgit-Baltistan remains part of the erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore remains Indian territory under illegal occupation. That is why every election conducted there draws an official protest from India. That is why every attempt to alter its status triggers a diplomatic response. And that is why India reacted strongly once again this month. But beyond diplomacy lies a human story, a story of people who feel forgotten. People whose frustrations are now spilling onto the streets. People who believe promises of representation have remained unfulfilled. The slogans may be new, the protests may be making headlines today, but the pain is not new. It has echoes stretching back decades, and that is perhaps the biggest contradiction of all. Pakistan says it wants to liberate Kashmir, but critics point to a glaring contradiction. If freedom is the goal, why are so many in Gilgit-Baltistan still fighting to be heard, represented, and recognized? For India, these questions matter because New Delhi believes the conversation on Kashmir cannot begin and end in the valley alone. It must also include Gilgit-Baltistan. It must include Pakistan-occupied territories, and it must include people whose voices have too often been ignored. This is why India continues to raise the issue, why it lodges diplomatic protests, why it rejects elections conducted there, and why it refuses to let the world forget. Because beyond maps, beyond geopolitics, beyond propaganda, there are people. There is history, and there is a region whose story remains unfinished. A story India says the world can no longer afford to ignore. This is Gilgit-Baltistan, the Kashmir Pakistan talks about the least, and the Kashmir India won't let the world forget. And that's a wrap from my side. I am Tamanna Akhtar signing off for Times Now Digital. Until next time, take care and keep watching this space for more such videos.